What's up, everybody?
Hey, how's everybody doing? It is Rachel and Jerry.
I feel weird now that
Why?
I can see my ears again. Like they stick out past my hair.
Haircut. Who else got a haircut in the last week? We sent out we have a barber that comes to our house and does the boys' hair. And they just sit all like masked up on the front porch and like trim it in the fresh air and stuff. And so look at all fresh and clean. It's like you don't even reckon. My hair is still staying long.
Yeah, we're not cutting that.
No hairstylist coming out here. Maybe
Nope.
for the summer. We'll have to see. How's everybody doing today? I hope you are doing great. I have my computer right here in front of me. I'm going to be reading your notes on the chat, and I'm going to be your guys' voice as we talk to Jerry. It is Talk About It Tuesday.
So we're going to talk about it.
Tell everybody what we're talking about and what our topic is and about the Niesman team and get everybody settled and welcome while I like link things over and make sure everybody can hear. Hey, everybody. And make sure if you're watching to leave a comment in the message here, in the message board. And so you get entered to win a $25 Amazon code just for stopping by to say hi to us. And so leave a hello or a question. We are talking about selling your home today.
Yes, so we're talking about selling and when is the right time to sell your home. So that's what we're talking about. I'm Jerry Niesman, team leader of the Niesman team at Keller Williams Realty.
Hey, I'm Rachel.
And this
Niesman.
is Rachel.
Yes. Oh, I'm busy. I'm distracted.
And so that's what we're talking about today is when is the time to sell your home. So we're going to go through all of that. And obviously, if you guys know us, then you know who we are. If you don't, been in real estate for 10 years. Sold new homes for the first 5 years and now 5 years in general real estate. Been doing this a while. Over 500 families we have helped buy, sell, invest in real estate here in Southwest Florida now in the last 10 years. And yeah, what else?
So
make sure you comment on the, make sure you comment in the thread here. We are doing a $25 Amazon gift code giveaway.
Don't have to see us. You don't have to get a gift card that's been touched by some hands. At the end of this discussion, at the end of this Talk About It Tuesday, and at the end of every Talk About It Tuesday, which is live here on Jerry's Facebook page at 4 p.m. every single Tuesday, we are talking about real estate in Southwest Florida, and we give away $25 at the end of it in a Facebook Messenger message. So be sure you say hi, leave a little message, say, hey, what's up, Niesmans, or leave a question that you have. Today's topic that we are talking about is when is the right time to sell a house in Southwest Florida? We're going to be talking about the ins and outs of when's the right time of the year, what day of the week to list it. We're going to talk about what it looks like to be putting your house on the market in Southwest Florida. And again, the way this works is I'm going to be pitching questions to Jerry about this topic. 10 years worth of full-time experience. We've helped a ton of families. We love what we do. And he is going to give you the real talk, real information on the topic. And I have questions that I'm going to pitch at him about when is the best time to put your house on the market in Southwest Florida. But I want you to communicate with us too. This is a live discussion. So let me know what questions you have about selling your home, or if you're thinking about putting your house on the market or have questions about it. Let me know in the little comments, and I'll be sure to pitch questions at him too on your behalf. And so I'm your voice. If you see me like over here, it's because I'm looking at my computer. And so just listen to Jerry and look at Jerry, and I will peek up and butt in whenever I feel like I have something to add. And so let's talk about it.
Rachel wanted to be on the video full time this time, so she decided.
I wanted to sit next to my
we had to
husband.
find a new spot so that we could sit together.
We did, and look at us sitting like all snuggled up close to each other. We can like canoodle on screen. I guess that's the benefit of being like a husband and wife team, where we can like hang out and chill all day long at work. We are in one of our 2 home offices, and so hopefully this spot will work out. Please let me know. Can you hear me? If you can't hear us, let us know.
Nobody's complained, so I assume that that's a yes.
And make sure make sure you say hi or leave us a message if you're watching, and we'll message you at the end. You don't have to stay the whole time. will send you a Facebook Messenger message if you won a $25 Amazon gift code. And so let's, yes, we can noodle. We can noodle like the best of them. So my first question to Jerry is going to be the real root of the topic today, which is, when's the best time to sell your house? When's the best time in Southwest Florida? We work from Sarasota to Marco Island is our area. And when's the best time to put your house on the market?
So there's a long answer and a short answer. We'll start with the short answer, which is whenever you need to sell your house. The reality is it will sell at a price anytime, no matter what the market is. Just go back and look at 2008 and 2009 when the market was like in a free fall. Well, guess what? People were still buying houses. So it was all a matter of pricing it right. So the short answer is whenever you need to. Don't wait if you absolutely need to sell it. Don't wait to try and time the market right. It doesn't work, just like in the stock market. The people that do it by accident, not on purpose. So that's the short answer. Now the long answer, there are some historically better times. Of course, it's going to depend on where you're at. A lot of people feel like the springtime is the best time, like up north and stuff like that.
But we in Southwest Florida, we have
a very different market than most of the rest of the country.
So I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we here in Southwest Florida have two main selling seasons as we see it. We feel like after helping 500 families, we have kind of two different baskets of time. And the first one is our snowbird season, as most of you probably know. So when is that, and who are those clients, and what do those houses look like?
All right, so the snowbird season typically is when the snowbirds are here, which is normally the retired folks coming down, trying to avoid being cold in the wintertime, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to be up there in the snow up north either. Even when it's not snowing, it's cold and wet. So they typically, what we consider our season is January through Easter, whenever that is. A lot of people start leaving around Easter time, but usually end of March to middle of April. That's our snowbird season. So those people are normally here during that time, and a lot of time they're spending at the beach. But you can only go to the beach so many times before you start getting bored of sand and water, and then they start coming out and looking for properties, especially when they're paying between $4,000 and $10,000 a month to rent a place, and they start thinking about, well, for $15,000 to $30,000 a year, can I buy a place and own it and not have to pay somebody else's rent? So then they start looking at buying. If you look historically, the bulk of the transactions, there is a higher volume of transactions that take place in March and April, because a lot of people put their homes on the market December, January, early February timeframe to attract those snowbird buyers, and then they will the snowbirds a lot of times make their decisions before they go back up north, which is like end of March, early April. So you see a lot of closings happening during that time. So every year, historically, we have had a higher volume of transactions in March and April than any other months of the year. March, April, and then some of it carries over into May. So that's the highest volume of transactions. It's also the highest volume time of listings. So a lot of people put their homes on the market.
I don't understand the difference. Okay, so explain the difference. So how is that different? The most amount of people buying and the most amount of people selling?
Yes.
Okay.
So you get a lot more inventory December, January, February. So then the people that didn't make their decisions, those snowbirds that didn't make their decisions, will sometimes come back in the summer and make that purchase then in the summer. And what they tend to find is there's less inventory to choose from, which sometimes will lead to a little bit higher prices. So a lot of times we actually see a tad dip in pricing in actually closed dollar amount for a similar property in that March, April, May timeframe, because people listed them higher and then they lower the price as it gets close to that decision-making time. So sometimes you can snag a deal during that time.
Interesting.
So and then the second.
What's the second season?
Group.
The second group. So the first is our snowbird season, and then once snowbird season is wrapping up.
Can I say the joke?
I guess so. We didn't create it. We love you all. But Floridians, I'm sure you've all heard it. Floridians fall into two categories, right?
The newlyweds and the nearly deads is the joke, and that's not just people from Florida.
Right. Well, that's who's buying houses with us. That's our two seasons. So, it's retirees, people
and new young families.
Not us. Yeah.
Right. So you.
Don't hang up. We love you all. Nobody's dying. We're all gonna live forever. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get past COVID. We're gonna figure out how to live forever, and we're gonna sell house after house after house to your family for infinity. And
so the family group tends to buy homes in the summertime. So if you're selling, the snowbirds tend to lean towards the lower maintenance homes.
Like condos?
Gated communities, condos,
Townhouses.
maintenance free type places where, where there's not a lot of maintenance that needs to be done, and a lot of them are part-time. They don't live here full-time. They've got a house up north that they go to in the summertime. They've got a house here in the wintertime. So it is really difficult to maintain those properties when they're not here. So they tend to lean towards those maintenance free. So condos are sell much more frequently in that winter and spring time frame. The maintenance free stuff, condos, attached villas, that sort of thing. In the summertime, we tend to sell more to young families. They like the summertime because kids are out of school. So when you're making that transition, especially from like 5th grade into 6th grade that year, and the like 8th grade into high school transition where you're moving schools is kind of a natural transition time to move homes, because they're moving schools no matter what. So it's not such a big deal if you move to a different district or whatever. So that would be the second group, is the family group. So the larger homes, single family homes, tend to be more popular in that time frame. So that's kind of the summertime, like right before school starts. So school gets out usually like right now, end of May, and into June, July, and August, and they go back to school usually in August here.
So that's when our buyers are out buying. So we're talking to sellers though. So is it better
So you
to
want to sell, you want, ideally,
early?
If you can, you want to put your home on the market during the time that the people are here and making the decision.
Got it.
So those times when the buyers are most popular, or, out the most for that type of property, that's the ideal time. Now, obviously, we have a little bit of a funky situation right now with the COVID-19 coronavirus thing.
We're going to come back to the coronavirus.
So we'll get to that here in a minute. But
I want you to clarify. We talked about the short answer, and the short answer, you said the best time to put your house on the market is when you need to sell your house. So if you're struggling to make your mortgage payment now, and you need to move into a smaller home, does it make sense to wait until June, July, August, September, October, whenever that we're talking about? No, of course not.
Nope.
And so, the best time is really when it's ideal for your family. If you need to sell your home, and the time to put it on the market is when it's most beneficial for you and your family in your home. We can help you custom tailor the seasons and stuff like that, and we do have these trends. But that doesn't mean, listen, if you have a single family home that you have to sell, that you want to sell during snowbird season, there are people looking for single family homes during snowbird season.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this isn't an exclusive catch-all. If you miss your window, you miss your window. This is just our traditional market.
Yeah, this is
right?
This is the historical, and the swings are not huge.
We're steady. So I can tell you, I run the financials for the Niesman team. Our average transactions stable all year round. I can predict how many closings we're going to have as a team in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. And there may be a little bit of variance, but it's steady. Like, we don't have any, we've never not sold homes in a month in 10 years.
When you're talking historical, like, quarterly numbers, first quarter typically ends up at somewhere in the ballpark of, like, 1,800 to 2,200 transactions. Second quarter is in the, like, 2,000 to 2,400 or maybe 2,500 transactions. Third quarter is like 16 to 18 or 2,000. And then fourth quarter is about that same 16 to 18 or 2,000. So it's like, there's not a huge swing, but there is a difference.
Talk to me about the coronavirus. So things are different right now. People are, talk to me.
Okay, so
you're pacing it, you're watching it.
With the current situation going on, obviously that has put a little bit of a kink in our that end of winter, spring selling season, which is very common here. It's done it all across. I mean, spring becomes the hot time to put your home on the market in most other places as well. And it's changed things a little bit. It's pushed it a little bit later. A lot of those snowbirds went home early, like they went home in mid-March. And so they weren't here during the time they would normally be here to make those decisions. Now, some of them made those decisions remotely and bought digitally. And that's a great way to do it, especially right now where people are used to doing transactions that way. They're used to communicating that way now. We have a great opportunity to continue taking advantage of that throughout the summer. So I have heard a lot of them wanting to come back down and make that purchasing decision over the summer now. So it's one of those things where this year is going to be a little bit weird. We've still had a ton of buyers, but not as many listings during this time frame. So a lot of those homes were taken off the market. There wasn't as much to choose from. It's caused prices to go up on a lot of things.
So that's good news for sellers.
It's great news for sellers. Yeah. And I do expect a lot of those homes that came off the market to go back on the market here in the next probably 2 to 6 months.
Ooh, can I interject? I just want everybody who's watching to know, so Jerry Niesman is live Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, live here on Facebook at 4 p.m. We have been doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, virtual tours of vacant listings, homes that just hit the market. Tuesdays, we're doing this Talk About It Tuesday. Our slogan has been for the past 9-10 weeks, here for you when you have nothing else to do. And so we've tried to take you guys out to work with us for people who are stuck at home. I don't know that I've told Jerry this, but next week we are going to continue. We said we were going to do Talk About It Tuesday for 5 weeks in a row. This would have been our last Talk About It Tuesday. We've had such a great time and such great feedback. We are going to be here next week, next Tuesday at 4 p.m. if you want to throw it in your calendar. I'm going to, it's the very first week. It's the first week of whatever month it is.
June.
Thank you. It's the first week of June. We are going to be reviewing in depth the numbers of April. Yes. That's how they release it. So we're going to go through all of the statistics from the Florida Board of Realtors. They release the statistics at the end of each month for the month prior to. It takes them a little bit of time to get everything shuffled in the system. So we're going to go in depth 1 week from today, Facebook Live, here on Jerry's page, 4 p.m. We're going to be talking about the numbers, how many listings actually sold, how many were pulled off the market, and we're going to give you a true picture of what coronavirus or COVID-19 did to our real estate market. We're going to compare April of 20 versus April of 19 for buyers, for sellers, for average price, stuff like that. We're going to go in depth about this
and also
next week.
April versus March of
Exactly
2020
right.
Because March was like 50-50.
Yes.
Half of March, we had this pandemic going on. I mean, it was here the whole time, but it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't all over the news until about halfway through the month. So it will be very interesting to see
awesome.
how the numbers have really truly been affected by this whole thing.
Yeah, it's hard because we exist in our own little bubble. The Niesman team has been really fortunate. We've had 0 deals fall out as a result of the coronavirus. Like, knock on wood, fortunately, every single one of our clients that was under contract and has continued to go, I need to find wood. Every one of our clients who was under contract and has gone under contract since the coronavirus taken place and the changes with jobs and mortgages and stuff like that has been, we've been really blessed. Everybody's been able to purchase their new home or sell their home. And yeah, but that's anecdotal, right? That's just us in our tiny little corner of the real estate world here in Southwest Florida. And so we're going to go in depth at the numbers next week. And so talk to me about selling your home. We have talked about when's the best time to put it on the market. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see here in Southwest Florida or in general that people who are considering selling their home, what are they doing wrong? Like, what do you want to advise? Listen, we're very real talk people. So for people who aren't super familiar with the Niesman team, our slogan is real people, real estate. And it's because we real talk. We talk to people the way we talk to our family, our parents. If our parents were interested in buying or selling a home, we don't mince words. So go for it, man. You're looking at me like, oh no, am I going to get in trouble over? What are some of the mistakes that you see?
So I would say probably the biggest mistakes people make revolve around the money of the whole situation. Most people don't realize what we as realtors do. They don't know all of the behind the scenes. Because the majority of us that do the majority, that handle the majority of the transactions, are good at what we do. And if we're good at what we do, we should get your home sold quickly for the most amount of money possible. That is our ultimate goal. And ideally, that's what you guys see. You guys see, we put your house on the market and it got sold in a week or two. And we only had to negotiate one deal. We had, maybe one or maybe multiple offers come through, but we managed that. You guys as homeowners and as people not involved in these transactions don't know all the behind the scenes stuff that goes into handling a transaction. Dealing with other realtors who are doing their best to try and get the buyers the best deal possible on your home. So a lot of it revolves around the money. You see the money that we get paid as the commission. Well, guess what? We don't get to keep all that because we're 1099 contractors. And so we have to, this isn't W-2 income where our company takes taxes out and we get benefits, we get insurance, we get 401ks, we get all that stuff like a lot of people do. Now, we signed up for that. We know that. But if you looked at the profit that your company or the gross sales that your business does versus the actual bottom line income and then what they pay you if you're working for a company, there's a huge difference in those numbers too. It's because of all those things, because there's a lot that comes out of it before it gets down to the bottom line and to paying people. So you guys see a 3% or 4%, 5%, 6% commission, whatever it ends up being, and you think, well, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, and we spend a lot of that money on marketing your property. So there's a lot that goes into that. That's part of it. So a lot of people make the decision to sell their home on their own for sale by owner. You're welcome to do it. Most people find that it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
I don't know if it's as easy.
It's a lot of headache.
Oh man, like y'all don't want to do our job.
You want random people calling you at all hours of the day, wanting to schedule showings.
Strangers want to walk into your house and having no liability or no way to track. Yeah, the difference. Talk about Elon Musk's pictures right now. Why is Elon Musk selling his house for sale by owner? And he has crappy cell phone photos of his multi-million-dollar home on Zillow.
Multiple multi-million-dollar homes. The guy owns like 7 homes. And he's selling all of them for sale by owner.
And it looks like he took the pictures with a potato. Why is he taking potato pictures? We use as an example, we use a professional photographer and videographer for every single home that we list, and it costs us hundreds of dollars. So on whether it's $100,000 home in Lehigh or a $1 million home, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of expense that goes into it and a lot of headache that goes into it. So just be selective. I would say be selective in choosing a realtor.
Well, first of all, choose a realtor.
Choose a good realtor.
Work with a realtor, and then be selective on who you choose. Don't just choose somebody because they're a friend or coworker or family member. Make sure that who you're working with has done a significant number of transactions and has done them well. I had a client come to me the other day because they said that they were working with a realtor that told them they had 20 years of experience. They started doing research on that realtor and found out that just 2 years ago, that realtor was working in another career.
I would say vet your realtor.
So go ahead. Don't just take their word. Do some research.
Yeah, do some research. Like, you should be Googling these people. I think you're right in that it's a mistake to think that, like, you can sell a house by yourself. It's relatively, save all this money. But when you get down to the legality of it and just what we absorb in terms of liability, I do think it's worth it. I also think it's worth give a 10-minute Google to anybody you're considering working with. Yeah. What do their reviews look like on places like Zillow or Realtor or their Facebook page? Do they have a fully fleshed out system of making sure that your home goes on the market? What are their marketing plans? There's a home. Check them out on LinkedIn. There's a home that just went on the market in our neighborhood, in our vicinity, within a couple miles of our home. And all the pictures just came up, and 16 of the 35 photographs are of flowers in their garden. Not their home, not their bedroom. It's a $400,000 house, and they're trying to entice buyers by posting photographs of roses. And it's infuriating to us. Like, I get incensed for those people. And that home is listed by a realtor who does a fairly significant number of transactions. Sure. So thank you. We appreciate all the people who are saying that they support us and they love us. We love you guys too. We love working with you all. We love what we do all day, every day. And it's only through troubleshooting client after client, deal after deal. We hope we make better mistakes every single day than we did yesterday. And we have a good system. And So what I was saying, don't just hire people. Don't just hire somebody because they're a relative or a friend or family and you feel like it's going to affect your personal relationship with them. Can I add to that? Hold on, let me interject. Let me interject to that too, though. If you are watching and you are a friend or a family member and you don't want to work with the Niesman team, I don't know if we say this enough to our people in our life. You don't have to work with us. We will help you, or we can do our best to give you advice or feedback. Well, or we can put you with somebody that we know will do a good job too. If you don't want They might not do it quite as good as we do, but But if you don't want Jerry and Rachel filtering through your linen closets or looking at your credit because you're close to us and you're going to have a 30-year relationship with us, we get it. We never ever want our people to feel like they're obligated to work with us. Please, whether TNT is your team or you have another realtor that you love or you're a realtor out there watching this, let's not require personal relationships to turn into business transactions. We all love each other. There's enough realtors to go around. There's enough homes to go around. There's enough clients to go around. And at the end of the day, this is a business transaction. Right. And it's the biggest business transaction you're going to make unless you're buying private jets. Right. It's the biggest business transaction most people make in their lives. So
make sure that you are making a smart business decision rather than a personal decision. And if that person is offended by that fact, then it's...
And it happened. I mean, I feel
maybe
like...
they're not the right person.
Right. I feel like that comes with experience. I feel like it's only in that we've lost clients. We've lost to other people and have had to learn that it's not personal.
Well, and I've got a client that's looking to relocate down here now. He said, one of my buddies lives around the corner. He's a realtor. I don't know how much business he does, but he came and looked at our house. He told us a number that seemed about $40,000 less than what we were thinking. We had a friend of my wife's who she knows from church come over and look at it. She told us more in line with that number we were thinking. But then he says, I saw her working a part-time job somewhere else just last week. So I'm thinking that she probably doesn't do a whole lot of business. So I said, well, if you would like a third opinion, I'll be happy to put you in touch with somebody that I know in your area that does a lot of transactions and that has a good reputation. Compare, because they might very well be on the right track with the proper number. Maybe it's one, maybe it's the other. I don't know because I don't know your market. But I can put you in touch with somebody that I know does know your market well and then make your decision based on that.
I got a question for you. What are some good questions for people who are thinking of putting their home on the market? What are some good questions for them to ask potential realtors? What are those important questions?
So, number one, I think a lot of people can use their gut instinct. You get feelings from somebody the minute you meet them. Now, just because you like somebody the first time you meet them doesn't mean you shouldn't vet them. But number one, you will know within 5 minutes of them being in front of you whether you like them or not, whether they're worth vetting or not, typically. Then, if you decide that they are worth vetting, then do your research, but ask them, not just how long have you been in the business, because people can have their real estate license for 20 years and only sell 5 houses. It's not always about time having their license, but...
And we're not saying that you can never use a newly licensed realtor.
No, absolutely not.
Ask them if they say, oh, I'm kind of new at this. Say, who do you have to go to if you have questions or need help?
Right. Appreciate their honesty because a lot of people are very nervous about that being new.
Everybody started somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had to start somewhere. I was new at one point too, and I had the client that I helped. I still remember to this day the client that I sold my very first home to.
10 years ago this month.
So
we still send him Christmas cards every year.
But I remember that, and I was very honest with him. I said, "Look, you guys are going to be my first client."
Aww.
And it takes a lot of courage to walk into somebody's home and be willing to say that. Because you already know you're at a disadvantage because of that conversation. Because everybody's immediately going to say, oh, well, I'm your first client. Maybe you don't know what you're doing or whatever. That's not the case.
So who do they have around them?
Who do they have as support staff?
So I think a really important one, and maybe this is because, so my side of the business is all marketing. His side of the business is the numbers side of it, right? So I would imagine the question that everybody wants to know is, what number do you think I should list my house for? How much do you think my house is worth? And so listen to that and look at the comps, look at comparable homes that have sold or not sold, and we'll bring all that information, or your realtor should have an understanding of that information. But also, what is your marketing plan from my world? What is your marketing strategy? What day of the week do you list on and why? Do you do open houses? How are you handling putting a home on the market during COVID? That kind of stuff. What is your marketing strategy? I would think and tack along there, maybe because it's my neck of the woods too, do you use a professional photographer and videographer, and do you do a Zillow walkthrough? Do you do a Zillow video tour walkthrough for every single home? So let me tell you how this works. So when the MLS, the multiple listing service, when you list your home for sale as the seller and your realtor puts all the information into the MLS, it feeds to all those other websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com. All of those come as a direct feed from your local MLS. Your MLS is entered by your realtor. And so all of the stuff that goes in there. Now, places like Zillow boost posts that have more complete information, and part of that is having video walkthroughs, and you have to pay a professional photographer who's approved to upload those into Zillow.
You can do it yourself. I can go into Zillow's app and do a video walkthrough in your house by myself.
Oh, interesting. I'm a liar.
It's going to look like garbage.
I'm a liar. Hey, I feel like my photographer's told me that he has to do it, so maybe...
Yeah.
Mark, where are you at?
So
you telling me?
It looks like garbage if I do it. It'll look like garbage if most realtors do it, because most of us are not professional photographers. There are a few, but most are not. So I hire somebody, and I recommend that you ask if they do it, if they hire somebody professionally. If they don't, then take a look at the pictures and videos that they've done of their past listings.
What else do you suggest asking?
So what is their experience level? Like I said, not just years of having their license, but how many years actively full-time selling real estate, number of transactions. Don't automatically discount them, because some of your new realtors are going to be super hungry. They need to go out there and find a way to sell that home because they need a paycheck. So there's nothing wrong with them being new. Just make sure that you know who their support staff is. You know, do they have a broker who is willing to sit down with them and answer questions and help and pick up the phone and call you if you have questions that they don't know the answer to?
Right. So
or are they on a team with an experienced team leader, or other people in their office? You know, I mean, at our office, everybody's super friendly and helpful. And so like another agent, brand new agent, will come to me. One just called me last night at 9:30 at night. She said, "Hey, I've got a question on this. It's my first listing. Can you help me? Like, what do I do with this situation?" And I was on the phone with her for a half an hour, answering her questions, helping her out.
So, support systems. We talked about how much is the house worth. I want to add on to the number side of it.
Don't be enamored just by commission.
No.
Will they discount their commission
No.
for me? Because if they're negotiating their own money away very easily, how are they going to do it when it's your money?
Yes. All that. But, so it is, you should be hearing from your realtor very real talk information regarding how much the house is actually worth in the market. You could you could find a realtor here in town to list your house for $50,000 or $100,000 more than its actual value all day long, easily. Somebody will accept that. Somebody will allow you to put your house on the market for $100,000 more than what it's worth. And in 6 months, you're gonna hate that person because you've opened your house up, you've shown it, you've vacuumed 8,000 times.
Hopefully you've shown it. If it's $100,000 overpriced, you may not have shown it.
But you need to have an open mind and hopefully somebody who is going to real talk to you about the value of the home in the current market. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I want to move on to the biggest bang for your buck. So we talked about when to list your home or when the different seasons are and what the benefit is of listing it at different times. Now, what about fixing up your home or getting it ready to sell? What are the best bang for your buck, like will pay the most out if you do XYZ? What do you feel like?
So number one is staging. It doesn't necessarily cost you anything to stage your home.
Are you talking about hiring a stager? Explain.
No, I'm talking about like anybody who's gone and looked at model homes. They all have very similar
like
aesthetics.
Decor. Mm-hmm.
Like the decor itself is not necessarily the same. There's some that are going to be colorful. There's some that are going to be more
beachy or whatever,
monotone. But the thing is, you will notice that they have a consistent theme. Number one, throughout the home, typically. So if it's a beach theme, the whole house is beach themed typically, or something related. Like it might be beachy, it might be boat in another area, something like that. But they're, it's consistent throughout. There are not a lot of knickknacks. There's nothing. Now it's a model home, so there's not a ton of personal stuff. But you will see, like on a nightstand, a picture. And it's, they went to Home Goods or whatever and bought a picture, and they literally left the picture that was in there.
Right.
That
Here's
came
a dog
from it
that
to
doesn't
sell.
belong to me.
Right, because it's, it's not their house anyways, so of course it's not going to be their stuff.
Sure.
But you want it to be as depersonalized as possible.
Like neutral, right?
Correct.
You don't want it to look like the Niesman's house.
Right.
We got a lot of painting to do.
So staging is number one. Typically, most people's homes, you need to remove about 60 to 70% of the stuff in the house. Just as a rough idea. So it's okay to use your garage as storage.
Ideally.
Just try and do it as neatly as possible.
Ideally, but nothing's perfect, right?
Right.
Don't feel like if you can't dump 70% of your personal possessions, you can't
still
put
need
your house on
you
the
still need to
market.
be able to live in it if you're living in it while you're trying to sell it.
What about
I get that.
paint?
But the second best thing would be paint. Paint, and more paint.
What colors?
Whatever's popular,
right
whatever's popular in your area. Right now it's the cool colors here. The blues, the grays, the whites, the
silvers, grays,
yeah. So that's what's most popular here right now. So you want to stick with whatever's popular in your area. Try and lean towards more neutral stuff. But if you have a bright colored room, it doesn't mean you have to repaint it. I mean, this room right here is dark.
Yeah.
We painted it a dark bluish gray. I wouldn't necessarily tell somebody to repaint this room.
Yeah.
If I was coming in, the biggest thing is you want it to be clean and fresh.
Right.
So if you can accomplish that, if it was just repainted 2 years ago, you can probably accomplish that with a little bit of elbow grease and Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Those magic erasers are one of the best tools that you can pick up in getting your house ready, I'm telling you.
But
I've washed so many walls, so many scuff marks.
If the walls are dingy, if the baseboards and trim, the doors, if you try and clean them and you can't clean them, touch them up or repaint them. Paint's cheap.
Paint's very cheap. Mm-hmm.
So paint, and then an equivalent number one would be the first thing people see when they pull up to the house is the outside. Mm-hmm. So you want the exterior to look. So you're talking landscaping. Landscaping's really cheap. I mean, you can. For a few $100s, you can put some new flowers and mulch and stuff like that.
One of my pet peeves, or one of my favorite things to...
Just pull the weeds.
One of my favorite things to paint or touch up or replace is the mailbox. I feel like it's right out front where everybody drives up. It's literally the first thing that people see, sometimes even before they see the house. And if it's like old, dingy plastic... It is, thank you. It is a easy way to be like, I pay attention to my home. Because as a seller, you're planting seeds to potential buyers, right? The things that they see leave clues. And if somebody sees that you have a fresh, clean mailbox, they're thinking... The types of people that have a fresh, clean mailbox have probably replaced their air filters. And they've probably had maintenance on their air conditioning unit. And they've also probably added salt to the water softener. And those are clues that you give to potential buyers. And those teeny tiny small details that are inexpensive to replace, paint, touch up, really make a difference.
Yes. So,
really make a difference.
Water your grass. Right now, you probably don't have to because it's been raining every day. But, for the previous 4 months, we didn't have rain once. So, make sure the grass looks green. Fresh mulch. couple new bushes here and there, or trim the bushes.
Have you ever spray painted a lawn or painted a lawn to make it look like? Has anybody?
No.
Tell me
a lot
in
of
the
people
comments.
do. A lot of people do. They just hire. A lot of people do it all the time. They just hire True Green Chemlon, and that's what they do. They have a green dye in their fertilizer that they spray,
My prediction.
and it paints all their grass green.
My prediction is that one of our next 50 homes that we sell, I'm going to be painting some grass. Like, I bet I'm going to be out there painting some grass at some point, making it nice and green and touched up.
So those are your top two. Paint inside and outside if it needs it. And then landscaping.
Well,
Make
staging
sure-
is number one. We placed it.
Well, yeah, staging number one, and then those are your. That's
2A, 2B.
correct.
And then we also came up with a number 3 when we were talking
It's
about.
also free to pull weeds. It takes a little bit of time, but it's free. Pull them instead of spray them, because dead weed, the only thing that looks worse than live weeds is dead weeds. Hi, Gus. Welcome to the party.
What was I gonna say? So we have a number 3. We came up with a number 3. One of the best things that you can do is update for pretty inexpensively, and that is your lighting and your hardware. So tell me about it.
So cabinet hardware is probably the least expensive.
What did you tell me? If there are gold knobs or door handles anywhere, replace them with silver.
Either silver or oil rubbed bronze. Anything other than gold, pretty much, is like I've heard that out west, gold is starting to make a comeback.
Yeah.
And it usually starts out there and makes its way here, but it takes about 20 years. So, so I don't know. But as of right now, I have not had, in my last probably 300 people that I've shown homes to, I can't think of a single one that said, man, I wish these fixtures were gold.
And it's just trends. So it's just like having turquoise and
you could put them in a box and save them in your garage, and 20 years from now the gold may be back, and you could just put the old ones back on if you want to store them.
Agnes says she's ahead of the trend. Yeah, if you just keep it long enough, it will become trendy again.
Right.
So you just gotta hold on to it for 20 years. And look at, you're just saving money along the way.
So, cabinet hardware, freshen it up.
Fans and lighting in bedroom. You can get a ceiling fan with a
Faucets.
light at Lowe's for $100, if that.
If your bathroom or kitchen faucets are corroded, replace them. Shower head, like you can order a shower head on Amazon for $30.
Yeah.
And so.
Can you call that refinished? What we were talking about this the other day. What's the difference between calling something updated, upgraded,
remodeled?
Some of the phrases that we use, designer paint throughout.
I saw one that said completely updated the other day, and it was a house built in the 60s, and it still had the original cabinets, and they just threw some granite countertops on top. I'm like, how is that completely updated?
I thought you were saying that you saw a house that was listed as completely upgraded the other day. Like that was in the like that was in the description. This house was completely upgraded the other day. Thanks, everybody. That wouldn't surprise me. Let me tell you the things that we've seen. The things that we've seen. Oh, I'm typing a bunch of zeros. Should I hit enter so everybody can see what I'm typed? Make sure, hey, we got 5, 6, 7 people watching. If you are still with us, please, we're going to wrap up here in a minute. Let us know if you have any other questions about selling your home, when's the best time to put it on the market, how you get the most bang for your buck. If you just say hello or let us know that you're paying attention to us, we're going to give away a $25 Amazon gift card in about 3 minutes when we wrap this up. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you want me to kiss on my dog.
And keep in mind outdoor fixtures too.
Ooh.
Coach lights.
Yes.
The light fixtures outside by your garage that everybody lets rust until they fall off the wall. You can repaint those things.
I have black. I do it for clients all the time that are getting ready to sell their house.
Like, as long as they're not literally rusted and falling off the walls. Like, if they're still good. Do you mind if I retouch
your coach lights before we photograph it? Stuff like that. So, and we have, if anybody wants to, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market anytime soon, if you go to our website, it's realpeople-realestate.com. And up at the top bar, there's a little section for sellers. And we have on there, get your home ready for photographs or something to that piece. It's really nice to pop it open every once in a while and just be like, what could I do this weekend? Or I'm looking to do some home repairs and I'm thinking about putting my house on the market in the next 6 to 12 months. Maybe I could, Jerry and Rachel suggest that I go and touch up my coach lights outside of my garage.
We'll drop a link in the comments so that you guys have
that's a great
easy
idea.
access
I'll link
to
everybody
it.
over to it.
If anybody's interested.
We're gonna give away $25.
Was that the last question?
That was the last question.
Cool.
Unless anybody else has any other questions, we're going to wrap it up. It's going to be a pretty quick Talk About It Tuesday. Again, we are here next Tuesday.
Almost an hour.
Oh my God, time flies when we're having fun. I love it. We have baseball tonight. Youth sports have opened back up in the state of Florida. I don't know exactly how I feel about that, but we are headed to baseball. And we're going to give away $25 first.
Just practice.
Next, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday, join us at 4 p.m. for our regular quarantine tours. Are we going to rename it at some point? Probably. Because we're not really quarantined anymore, unless you choose to be, opt to be. The thing isn't over.
Previously known as?
Yeah, the tour formerly known as Quarantine. And so join us if you want to come to work with Jerry weekdays at 4 p.m. He is out touring vacant listings that are currently available in the Southwest Florida market. You can come along on his job, preview it for clients. We'll show you what it looks like, how much it costs, talk about whether or not it's worth it, and what any potential investment opportunities it would be. So we will be there next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Same time, same place. We will be here giving away $25 next week. Next week is the beginning of the month, and we are going to be talking about a state of the market. So we are going to review exactly what the numbers look like for April. Our first full month reporting has come in for Southwest Florida and all of Florida real estate transactions. So next Tuesday at 4 p.m., we will be here live. Jerry's going to go over the number, answer your questions about what it actually looks like and how it impacted our market and what it means to you if you are a homeowner and or if you're thinking about becoming a homeowner in the area. So join us for next Talk About It Tuesday, 4 p.m. live. Join us on Wednesday and Friday of this week. Thursday we're with clients, so we're going to have to take Thursday off. But let us know if you have any questions. I'm going to have Jerry give away $25, a $25 Amazon code. Oh, and I want to tell you guys something. We are always trying to improve ourselves in our business. And this is our last, so we're going to continue to give away a prize every single week at Talk About It Tuesday for those that hang out with us and talk about real estate, listen to us talk about our jobs. But I am switching to, we're going to start giving away gift codes or gift cards to local small businesses instead. I think it's important so we've been doing Amazon because it's who would ship to your home and we are all stuck inside. But next week we are going to start giving away gift codes to local small business. And maybe we'll rotate it. Yep. Now that businesses are back open. We're a small business in Southwest Florida.
People are starting to go out again. Switch it up to that.
Yeah, and so if there's something that you would love to see us give away or a business that you would love for us to support, you can send us a message here in Messenger. We are sending all of our things. We are sending all of our videos, our Facebook Live videos, including our quarantine tours that we do here in Southwest Florida, to our YouTube channel. If you want to check us out, head over to YouTube. It is Jerry Niesman, Jerry. Our last name is Niesman, Niesman. And add us at our channel over there. You can pop over and see other content that we have on there. And let's give some money away.
Like and subscribe on YouTube. Click the bell.
Click the little bell if you want to get notified when we post new videos. Yep. And this has been fun. I always have fun. At the end of Talk About It Tuesday, every single week, all I think is like time flies when you have fun. Because I have a great time every single time talking to you guys. So Did
anybody have any questions?
No, I think we're all caught up.
We got them all?
John, no, we didn't. Mr. Nogler, I'm so sorry. Yes, we do. So in an age-qualified condo community, should we be looking, okay, so they're homeowners of a condo.
Yep, they're in a 55 plus
Age qualified.
condo community.
We don't need to be throwing numbers out there, sir. Not one little bit. Should they be looking to rent it out and make money as an investment, or put it on the market and sell and pull out of it? And I think that's an excellent question. Thank you so much for reminding me.
So, we have a couple, it really depends on you. You think Lori answered it? Yeah, she said sell. But to answer that question, I think we've had this conversation before, but still, it's good to put out there for everybody. It's really a matter of you and what you want to do. We can definitely rent it. Obviously, the community allows it, so they allow rentals.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So, and what we were talking about was doing an annual rental anyways, so there's no issue there. They allow that. So selling, renting would be an option. You would make a profit. The question is, do you want to make that profit of, a couple $100 a month in return for what some people feel is a headache of dealing with a renter and a tenant and having the potential hanging over your head of repairs and all that. So in the current market, rentals are going no problem, so we could absolutely rent it. But they're also selling really well. Even though it is a 55 plus community, so an age restricted or age qualified community.
I like that. Well qualified. Grown up community.
It's a condo, which, like I said, historically, we're getting past what is the typical ideal selling season for it because of the situation with the COVID-19 and all that, and a lot of people not coming down or having to go back early and not being here to buy. They're going to come back down or they're going to do it remotely.
Okay,
we can absolutely sell it.
Call me crazy though, because I feel like as I track I do like our listing reports and stuff like that. So I report to you on our homes that we have listed, how long they've been on the market, how many people have viewed it on places like Zillow and the MLS, how many saves there are, things like that. I swear sometimes it's beneficial to list it in the wrong season because there's such little competition.
Yeah, there's a lot less competition.
Where it's
when
not
you're
like,
in the
oh,
off-season.
there's 15. Say you want to sell a condo in a community that typically is a snowbird community. So everybody puts their house, you have 15 condos on the market, all competing for price and options, versus if you put it on and there's only 2, it's much easier to narrow buyers down. So,
absolutely. I mean, so there's definitely, and like I said, with the current situation making it a little bit wonky, it will definitely, we have a good opportunity to be able to get it sold now.
So here's how we're going to give away some cash. We are giving away our final Amazon gift code to somebody right now. $25 for you to go buy whatever you want. We're going to talk about what business we're going to give money to next Talk About It Tuesday when we're talking about state of the market. And I'm going to have you pick a number. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. So I'm going to have you pick a number 1 through 7, and I've assigned comments to people. I've assigned people in the comments to a number, and that person is the winner. So 1 through 7, pick a number.
1 through 7. Let's
I'm going to go dig through the numbers and find out.
Let's go. Well, 7's supposed to be the lucky number, right? So let's go with 7.
7 is the lucky number, and in by a teeny tiny little thread, that is Miss Sarah Decker, who just commented and said, "Great video. I'm so glad you joined us."
Wow, awesome.
We're going to send you a message. Congratulations to you. We're so glad. We hope you learned something, and thank you so much for joining us. We will see everybody for a State of the Market next Tuesday at Talk About It Tuesday, 4 p.m. here on Facebook Live. And if you guys aren't friends with us, make sure you add us as friends here on Facebook or on Instagram. We're all over on the social medias. YouTube channel, Jerry Niesman. And we will see everybody soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Join us, 4 p.m. Facebook Live. Tomorrow, we're going to be showing you a place, I think, in North Fort Myers.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks,
You guys
everybody.
so much. We love you
Have a
all.
great day.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you have a great night too. We really appreciate all you guys.
Finish.
Stop, baby. I don't